Hi, I'm Marybeth Gardam with Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, U.S. section, otherwise known as WILF. WILF is the oldest international women's peace organization in the world, founded in 1915 by Jane Addams and a group of international women who hoped to stop World War I. We've been connecting human rights and economic justice to the quest for peace ever since. You're about to watch a film about the way the most powerful corporations in the United States and transnational corporations, who may not even have their charters in the US any longer, have conspired to steal the constitutional rights meant for human persons and to use the legal fiction of corporate persons against real human citizens of the United States. Through a long series of corrupt Supreme Court's decisions, corporations have used their new and ill-gotten rights against people, the planet, and our democracy. What's stunning about the steps that corporate powers have taken is the breadth of their planning and the striking pattern of abuse that is hidden in plain view in our society. Also stunning is the effectiveness of these steps to silence ordinary people and pro-democracy organizations, to totally reshape our educational, legal, financial, and legislative systems in order to prioritize the profits of corporations and take away the rights of individuals who challenge their profiteering, all the while waving flags and beating drums that link corporate profits with patriotism. We're told when corporations do well, America succeeds. But in truth, democracy in the United States has been on the ropes for a long time because of corporate threats and dark money. Because of WILF's long and groundbreaking work on corporate power, we're privileged to offer this special preview showing of the film, The New Corporation, the Unfortunately Necessary Sequel. This sequel to the 2003 film, The Corporation, exposes how companies are desperately rebranding as socially responsible and how that lie threatens democratic freedoms. WILF US members are able to watch this film for free, along with their guests, at any convenient time from Sunday, July 18th, 2021, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, through Wednesday, July 21st, at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We've asked WILF members and their guests to watch this introduction first and then share the introduction in the film itself with allies, friends, family, and neighbors. So hopefully you're gathered together to watch now using the link provided. The film is free, but we hope that you'll consider a donation to WILF for our long-term pro-democracy work. A second part to our July Challenge to Corporate Power is happening on Wednesday, July 21st. Please put it on your calendar now and register to be part of the Zoom event. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, we'll be privileged to host a dialogue with film producer Joel Bakken, who also produced the original 2003 film, The Corporation. Join us to listen to the discussion about the film and ask questions. And then, immediately following the interview with Joel, we'll move into an activist panel discussion. 50 years is enough. Time to challenge corporate power. We'll look back on the groundbreaking work of the WILF US Women, Money, and Democracy Committee, formerly known as the Corporations versus Democracy Committee. We'll visit with the original authors of the distinguished tools designed to educate and organize the public about the history and context of corporate power in the United States. These tools are available on our website and are just as relevant today. You can use them in your own community or circle of friends. And we'll talk also about the more recent work of our committee, to work for solutions on many levels. We'll introduce many important fixes for repairing democracy and reclaiming it. Some of these solutions are constitutional and legislative. Some are about citizen advocacy. Still others are about ways of leveling the economic playing field and narrowing the shockingly unequal wealth gap in the United States, a gap that is now greater than at any time in our nation's history. It's noteworthy that 2021 is the 50th anniversary of a document that fueled the ongoing demise of democracy, using a roadmap of tactics that have steadily diluted the voices of citizens. The Lewis Powell Memorandum, also called the Powell Manifesto, was written in 1971 on behalf of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce by a corporate attorney who soon after rose to become a Supreme Court justice. Not a coincidence. It emerged against a background of amazing progressive and liberal organizing during the 1960s. In 1962, Rachel Carson's Silent Spring was published and changed the way thousands thought about nature and capitalism. The first Earth Day was established around the same time, and with demands for environmental solutions. The public protests against the Vietnam War in cities and on college campuses raised international attention and activism. Consumer safety issues were putting pressure on manufacturers and retailers to improve their consumer disclosures and their designs. Unsafe at Any Speed, Ralph Nader's book was published at this time and resulted in a new seatbelt law. The original Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965 after massive national demonstrations and civil rights protests. And the protests outside the Democratic National Convention, led by the Chicago Seven, also happened in this era. All of this unrest and holding corporations accountable was hard to ignore. Corporate executives were feeling the collective impact of all of these pro-people, pro-planet, pro-democracy measures. They felt that they were being targeted and that the economic future of capitalism in the US was under attack. The Powell Manifesto outlined a very effective and broad long-term agenda that prioritized profits, reduced opportunities for opposition, removed social justice history from classrooms, and silenced the media through a series of consolidation and buyout measures. If you haven't read this corporate manifesto, you really should. It's a roadmap for all the globalization, anti-worker, anti-union, industrial agriculture, climate change denial, and corporate capture tactics that we've seen in the last 50 years. Many of us feel that simply following this roadmap in reverse, addressing each point individually and in reverse, would help to protect what we have left of democracy in the United States. And this anniversary is a good time to rededicate ourselves to educating and organizing to save our democracy from corporate control, unregulated vulture capitalism, and dark money corruption. In an earlier interview, Joel Bakken noted that the only solutions we have for fixing the shreds to our democracy is a return to engaged citizen activism from the 1960s and 70s, re-energizing our democratic institutions and taking back what's ours. The way to do that is through education and old-fashioned organizing informed by advances in social media. And our committee is doing just that through efforts that address corruption, financial bailouts, re-envisioning the current greed economy with a caring economy, teaching about the past with real tools for changing the future. We're working on public banking advocacy across the United States, to reduce the amount of power that Wall Street has to call the shots in our government. We're aligning with experts to grow cooperative business models. We're educating women about how banking really works and who really controls the money in our financial system. We're finding ways to move the money and advocating for participatory budgeting to decide how to spend public money. We're also working with partners who uncover corruption and fight for anti-corruption laws, and who push for a constitutional amendment that denies corporations their personhood and reverses the political speech as money decisions of the Supreme Court. That's a lot. And we could accomplish much more and work more deeply with you alongside. If you're interested in changing the rules, transforming our systems to be more democratic, more fair, more people-centered, you belong in the WILF Women, Money, and Democracy National Committee. Check out our webpage, join WILF for just $35 a year, and contact us at wmad@wilfus.org to find out how to engage with our work and start making a difference locally and nationally. You'll meet activists just like you who are learning more together and working incrementally to make really big differences. Those tools we mentioned are worth checking out too. A 10-session study course designed for small group discussion is both a history lesson and a call to action. WILF used this course effectively during the early 2000s to educate thousands of people about the dangers of unchecked corporate power, and it's all still very relevant. Our timeline of corporate constitutional rights documents important Supreme Court decisions that took the voices and the rights of individuals and handed them to large transnational corporations. Year after year, case by case, well-researched and documented, it's compelling evidence of the pattern of corporate corruption and dark money influence on the Supreme Court. We also offer a series of plays that illustrate the history and educate about how seemingly disconnected events helped shred democracy. Those are also on our website and written by our own Jim Allison, Professor Emeritus at Indiana University. Using art and humor to make a point can be very effective, and these plays entertain while you educate and organize. These tools are powerful. One retired history teacher who completed the course commented that what she learned changed the way she would forever think about the United States. She said that she felt that she had inadvertently misled generations of young fourth graders by not telling them the real facts. It's been over 100 years of corporate control of our democracy, 50 years of corporate power on steroids. That's enough, don't you think? We're ready to be citizens again, not just consumers and commodities. Enjoy the film, The New Corporation, and then please join our interview with film producer Joel Bakken at 7 p.m. Eastern on July 21st. And stick around to meet WILF's corporate power experts, activists, and allies for a lively discussion at 8 p.m. Eastern on the 21st. Let's take back our democracy from unregulated corporate power. Together, working in a coordinated way on many levels, we can do it. Thank you.